So
whoa.
This section is our power and performance division. So students will start here at the later end of their course. They'll start with rebuilding an engine. Once they have that built, they'll come over here and put it into our T-buckets, and then they'll take that and we extend that through everything from fuel to timing to adding modifications, the whole 9 yards.
So they'll basically come, I love the T-buckets, by the way, and it makes sense because they're so easy to work on. So they'll actually take motors out, pull them apart, inspect everything, pistons, crank,
the whole 9
rods.
yards. Yeah, and the beautiful part too is that the students get to keep the same engine they build, put it in the car, and then, you know, if they did something awesome, it's gonna make power. If it didn't maybe have a good component, they'll switch it out and put a new one in and make it actually do what it needs to do.
So they'll actually take this, and I see there's a dyno over here, so they'll take it, build it, and then bring it over the dyno?
Yeah. And the cooler part about that too is we have a modified engine, so we can get them heads, cams, different rocker arms, headers, the whole 9 yards. Nitrous, we actually nitrous our engines.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
So you have I saw an engine dyno here and a chassis dyno.
Yeah, so we have a couple of our industry partners, right? Superflow. So for example, this one, we go through the students on a lot of different theories. It could be airflow, right? So we talk about changing out intake manifolds, what that does for it. This is a LS, so this is actually an LS1. It's stroked out. This one has a 396. Pretty fun, a little spicy.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's obviously set up for a carburetor, right? We talk about in this class too, different kinds of fueling. We could go through EFI, we go through carburation. Different headers, we'll change the collectors off, we'll see what those do to it. We'll also change cam timing, in the whole 9 yards, whatever we can get.
So they learn basically older technology carburetors, newer technology, how to calibrate and tune fuel injection. Wow, and they're also learning like the airflow calculations of what they, wow, that's
one of the more funny things is that students come into these courses because it's something that we're all passionate about, and they don't realize how much work goes into it, right? There's a lot of effort that it takes to build an engine for performance and make a car actually function on the street too. And so we start with the basics, right? Carburation, distributors, super simple, and we move them up, right? They're gonna go through drivability, they're gonna understand how to diagnose and build vehicles on an OEM level, and then we bring them over here and we start adding modifications to, for example, our newer cars back here. Much like in your world with turbos, superchargers, and so forth.
Speaking of turbos, like I had no idea UTI, you know, I think the perspective of UTI is that it's just like standard technician, your brake pads, diagnosing mass air, sensors, etc. But like, you guys have multiple turbochargers sitting here, turbo apart, wastegates. So like they get hands-on with,
so
like a customer like myself will come in and say, hey, I got this motor, I want turbo, bop, bop, bop. And they're learning how to deal with that, install it, how to size it, all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously now, every course we have has specific goals, right? In our performance classes, the goal is that we want to teach them all the fundamentals that would get them through an entry-level position at a performance shop, right? They may not be able to perfectly do everything, but they'll know the knowledge they need to actually go in and actually be a useful member of your shop right out of the gate. So for this instance, right, we actually talk about how to size a turbocharger. We show them the math. We show them the different programs you can use to do that, right, to actually dyno tune our cars and change the actual tune in the vehicle. And they upload it themselves. They run them. You know, I sit in the passenger seat with a laptop, and they try not to kill me.
You guys are using HP tuners here too,
We
right?
do, yeah.
That's what we use on all of our factory vehicles that use PCM. Or the factory PCM, sorry. We're using HP tuners to tune it. Super intuitive.
It's awesome.
Easy. That's so rad. I had no idea that you guys were like playing with turbos and teaching all that. Like,
well, you got to give them that little carrot at the end, right? When they're doing all the hard stuff, we're diagnosing, doing all that. You got to give them something to have fun with. And the best part too is we have I don't know what school you've been to that's a trade school that has both a chassis dyno and an engine dyno all in one. It's super fun for the students.
And a chassis dyno with a bottle of nitrous.
We have our own nitrous supply on tap, yep. We have a couple of mother bottles sitting there locked up.
And look at this. You know, it's like practice what you preach, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm saying? I love it.
Well, in all 6 years I've been here, I haven't had an engine fail due to the oil, I'll say that much.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I call it liquid gold. Like we've been using it for a very long time, and even our engine builders, from when they do tear down, they're so impressed with what our motors look like considering what we do with them. So something I'm obviously familiar with, right? We've got the old T-buckets, push rods, now arguably one of the most technologically advanced motors on the planet, the Coyote. Dual overhead cam, fuel injected, 4 timing chains. It's very technical, one of the best motors on the planet, but very technical. But I see It's not factory.
No.
I see you got Canon
We have
intake.
a few things. So my background is in, actually I'm a Ford Master Tech and all performance. I love Mustangs. In fact, you know,
Me too.
I mean, I wouldn't have guessed. Most of my career was actually started with these cars, ironically.
Oh,
similar
really?
to somebody else in this
Awesome,
building, right?
awesome.
So we have a lot of mods on this. This car specifically, like I told you before, it has never seen the road. This is just for us. We got it as a donation. It has a Canon intake. It has a Boss 302 intake. We put bigger injectors on it, bigger throttle body. And what we have the students do is they'll take these components off, put them back on, and they'll switch it from factory to modded to see what the tune requirements are for them. And
so this will be part, it'll be plugged in with HP tuners.
Yep.
Calibrate it,
Exactly.
see what it needs,
and then make the alteration. And so one of the things that this is actually really cool for students is that with a dyno, right, beyond just being cool for horsepower, it's an incredibly good diagnostic tool for them.
Sure.
We can see, hey, if I pull a throttle body off, what's that going to do to power without tuning it, right? Oh, we have too much airflow and not enough fuel going in. Well, how do we detect that? Oh, we're too lean here, we're too rich there, whatever it might be. And we can really break it down for the students. And then obviously they get to go super fast, right? Full throttle and have fun.
That's a fun, I'm sure it's a fun experience for them too.
And then, you know, you always get the guys who are real timid, they don't know how to drive maybe, they're not unsure, and then you put them in there and they just go through the floor and you go, okay, this guy's actually good. So it's a lot of fun.
So, and any supercharged Mustangs around?
We do. Our lovely little convertible up there, another donation for us. It's got an Edelbrock supercharger. We'll bring it down for you in a little bit and put it on the dyno.
Okay, cool.
This was actually, so one of the other things, because we're here in California, we have to talk about carb legal mods. And so probably one of the only campuses is the California campuses that do that. And that's because we have to worry about emissions, right, on these vehicles out here in Cali. So that is a completely road legal supercharger kit.
Okay.
It's carb EO'd, everything. Actually, we put on these cars pretty much is.
So they also learn not just how to work on them, but they're also learning some of the legalities, especially for here.
Now, of course, any kind of tuning they're going to do is going to be off-road only, as it were, as you well know.
Yep.
But in the regards of, you know, they may not work here forever.
Yeah.
They may go out to your
And they come to me in Charlotte.
Absolutely, and they might need to go work on an RTR or something else.
I'm with it. We would not be the first UTI student that we have at the lab, that's for sure.
And I hope not the last either.
No, we're very happy with what we get from you guys. They're really great. And what I love about them is, like, they've been able to hyper focus on their passion, and then they come in and we have a massive team environment. So they're not used to just like working in a book by themselves. Like, obviously it's hands-on with other team members, communication, like all of those skills that come from hands-on and working in a team. Like that's invaluable to us.
It is. As a tech, you usually go sequester yourself away, but on a race team, I mean, I've worked on a few myself, and it becomes more of a click. You have to know exactly what your buddy's going to do.
Yep.
And when the cards are down, you have to react.
100%.
And then the beautiful part about when you work with students too is they have that passion that I still have for it. You know, some people might get a little bit bored of the industry because they've worked in it for 20 years, but this is bread and butter. I love it. There's nothing better than coming into work and teaching a guy who's just as enthusiastic about going fast and doing the same thing as I am.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've never driven a car in a dyno.
Oh, it's super easy. I'll show you.
This will be my first dyno pull by myself ever. We have a dyno, I've just never done it. So, look at me learning.
They don't bring the boss in for dyno pulls?
No.
Oh, all right. Nope. Well, we'll happy to oblige.
We let our tuner do that.
Oh, I love the seatbelt action you got going there.
Yeah, because I just, just have it.
All right, I'll trust the...
I just don't want to, just in case we start going somewhere.
All right, so...
That's such a good habit.
You never done a dyno pull, huh?
Never done a dyno pull. So let me guess, I floor it and hit the brake as hard as I can.
Please don't hit the brake. I heard the car takes a screenshot if you do that. So what we're going to do is it should be already ready to go in first, I think, somewhere in there. All right. So just like anything else, man, I'm going to have you bring it up. Get it into third. This thing likes the best boost in third.
All right. So we're going to just run a full pull in third, or am I going to shift it a gear?
So shift it, get it up into, like, take easy time getting up into third. Once you're in third, I'll tell you to floor it. And don't hit the brakes.
All right.
Bring it on up.
Floor it.
Hit it.
All right.
We'll do a couple more. Bring it up and hit it.
Low rev limiter there.
Come on up one more. Hit it. Money.
All right. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
It's so weird not moving.
So for our students, right, that's their class for 3 weeks. Is just doing that.
Really?
That's pretty fun, right?
That's pretty damn fun.
So they put their tunes in, right? We see, hey, you put in an air-fuel ratio adjustment, boom, let's run it.
Oh, so you let them they make their own adjustments, run their tune, see where it's lean, where it's rich.
We verify they're not going to blow it up first, but yeah,
Okay.
pretty much, hey, did you make power, did you lose power? And then we'll pull up the dyno graph and see what you did.
Wow.
Pretty sick, right?
I mean, that excites me to come to school. And you get adrenaline from being on the dyno.
Oh, yeah.
I feel that was a little like a fun experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Heck
and
yeah.
3 times a day on average for every student. I mean, that's pretty good.
We're not going to be enamored with the numbers, but the point is that they got a dyno graph here, and they're able to make changes and then see what their changes result in. What I'm seeing right now is 350 horsepower and 316 torque at the tire. So a mildly tuned EcoBoost right now. It's only running 5 pounds.
This car on average usually makes about 420, 430 horsepower
Okay, the
on
tire.
the small pulley, yeah.
Okay.
On the big pulley, she gets up to almost about 500.
Okay.
Not too bad, and that's a stock internal 5.0.
Yeah.
You know, so that I pulled up one from previous runs we've done on it, but we'll use this as a really good diag tool. We have air-fuel ratio for the students to look, hey, what did it make? We'll look at power and torque curves, see where they fell off, where they gained. And then, I mean, this car, you know as well as I do, 5.0s make power everywhere. So it's just such a good tuning tool for students to kind of understand exactly what mods do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nah, that's cool. That is, like, that's fun, it's learning, it's intuitive, and it's like very relevant to the real world.
Oh yeah.
Like if you work at a performance shop, Mustangs and Superchargers are coming in all day.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Thanks for that experience. That was
Of course.
Cool.